So, it's been an exhausting week if you are a black person in the United States. Um, it's always exhausting, let's be real. Um, it's never not exhausting in some capacity, even when you're living your life to your fullest, to what your fullest is, and embracing joy and embracing all the things that so many white people take for granted. Um, But the last few weeks, and I guess maybe this pandemic in a whole, have been supremely heavy. We look at the deaths of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and we look at the situation with Amy Cooper, and we look at the way that protesters who are protesting George Floyd's death have been treated and been hit with tear gas and have been treated like criminals when one police officer killed a man and three others watched. And all they did was get fired, and they have yet to press charges against these men. And we look at Ahmaud Arbery's situation. We look at the situation with Breonna Taylor, and we just look at the black experience completely, and we look at the amount of black death that has occurred due to COVID-19, with black and indigenous folks having the highest numbers in this country of deaths related to this pandemic. And you look at the amount of black and brown folks on the front lines working in essential jobs, working in the healthcare industry, as nurses, as attendants, as healthcare aides, as home healthcare aides, and how much they're exposed to all these traumas and how much it has to probably trigger their generational traumas that they're still processing. And I'm just beyond tired at this point, y'all. I'm tired of using the word tired. I'm not even frustrated anymore, and I'm beyond disappointment at this point. I've had a week where I led and facilitated training on privilege and how it's affecting people of color in this pandemic, persons of culture in this pandemic, how it's affecting black folks in this pandemic. And I've been a part of a few community calls this week with other community leaders talking about some of these things. And the one thing I walked away from with all of this is that we don't matter to y'all. I'm talking to white people. We don't really matter to y'all. Our lives don't matter to you. All this shit's happening right now. And a lot of us as black folks, we're just so drained by it all. We're so tired of dying for no reason. We're so tired of being still treated like 3/5 of a human being. And I see white folks on social media, and they're like, this is an outrage, this needs to stop. And I've had white folks reach out to me through various means, calls, text, social media, wanting to be like, this is crazy, this is outrageous, I can't believe this is still happening, etc., etc. The white person guilt toolbox with the same lines that everyone spews out when these things happen. And your words don't mean anything to me anymore. White people, I'm sorry, your words don't mean anything to me anymore. Your condolences and your, I can't believe this is happening, and all of that, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's virtually meaningless. And it's meaningless because y'all will be upset about this week. But by next week, you'll have moved on to other things. while black people are still sitting in all of this. We're still having to get up every morning, still knowing that we might not make it home that night, knowing that there's so much danger around every corner for us, and that we still have to try to live and embrace joy and try not to just be sat in a quagmire of centuries of generational trauma that continues to be triggered and enhanced by this nonsense of whiteness, this whole categorization of people, of culture as colors and boxes, this whole nonsense that y'all created 300, 400 plus years ago to pat yourselves on the back for wanting to feel like you're better. It's not like it's gone away. And every time one of us dies, I get the same messages and the same emails and the same, I can't believe this is happening. And I don't want them from you anymore. I want you to keep them. I have no use for them. Because I know exactly where we're going to be at next week. This time next week, you won't be talking about this at all. You'll have moved on with your white life. And you'll be able to go live as a white person and do whatever the hell you want. Walk outside without a mask, call the police on people you deem suspicious, block people from doing things, all because of the color of my skin. Like, I don't want to play the not all white people game with y'all anymore. And I don't want to play I don't want to play the hopes and prayers and condolences game with y'all anymore. And I'm so exhausted by y'all pulling out the same Mad Lib and filling in the blanks for the latest death and being upset about it for like 48 to 72 hours, but then being able to just walk away and dwell on something else. That has to feel fucking wonderful. That you can just not worry about people's lives and you can send out some condolences and you can feel good about yourself and feel like you're a good person, quote unquote. That has to feel fucking incredible. I can't imagine how it feels to feel like you checked your boxes of being a decent human being for today or this week, and you showed that you cared, quote unquote, and now you get to not have to deal with it. I don't want your comforts. I don't want your words of, I know this needs to change. I'm so tired of, I don't know what to do. You created this. Your people created this. White people created the harm that continues happening to my people. You created this shit. If you want to dismantle it, you can dismantle it. You won't let us dismantle it. We've been trying to dismantle it for centuries, and you stop us at every turn. Your people stop us at every turn, white people. So you won't let us dismantle the system. You won't let us go have our own thing, because every time we've created our own societies and written our own hieroglyphs, if you will, y'all come and bomb us and burn us to the ground and harm us even more. So we can't exist without you, and we can't exist with you. And while we exist with you, we have to conform to what you want in order to try to live. And there's literally not even a 10%, 50% guarantee that all of that will make sure we live. So I'm beyond tired. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, I'm starting to verge into a level of hatred and dislike I've never felt before. I was never raised to hate anyone, to hate any institution. Sure, there are things I completely loathe and I think that they harm folks, but I have never felt deep hate inside of me for something that someone is doing as much as I feel this deep hate inside of me toward the concept of whiteness right now. I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying. This is not an I hate white people thing. This is an I hate what you've created thing. I hate your systems. I hate your structures. I hate the system that allows y'all to kill us and walk away. I hate the system that allows y'all to put us in the way of police when we've done nothing and watch us die. I hate that y'all feel like you should share the videos of us dying with other white people. Because that's some appeal to help white people see that we're dying. If you didn't catch the memo that black people are dying in this country or by now, you was never going to catch it any damn way. So sharing our black bodies being harmed all the time as your altruistic good thing that you did today to show the world that you're not racist is actually quite racist, FYI. I'm tired. I don't, it's doing nothing for me anymore. I hate what you've created. I hate what whiteness brings to the table because whiteness does not help anyone. And as I keep living in my life, and I mean, I do this work and I do a lot of talking about race equity and equity in general with mixed groups of people, and especially being in Oregon, it's mostly white folks. And I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. And I realized that y'all don't care enough about my life, about my nieces and nephews' lives, about anyone that's black's lives. You don't care enough. It doesn't make you squirmy enough to truly care, to push legislators for reform, to march for us, to stand with us. Like, let's be completely frank and honest. We don't need you. You put us into a system where you make it feel like we need you. We don't need you. We protest and we've been marching for 100, 200 plus years. Like at this point, I mean, we don't need you, but you are outside of our door every day. And I don't know how to appeal to your humanity anymore for you to want to try. I was in a community meeting the other day, and there was a white person in the meeting, and they actually said that they felt that for white people to be invested in the murder of black bodies and the harming of black bodies, that white people need to feel like they get a win out of it, that they get a prize for giving a damn about a black body. And it made me so sick to my stomach. The notion that I have to give you a cookie and give you a win, help you feel like you're a great person. I have to make you feel good as a white person to give a shit about my life and my body. And it's true. It is so disgustingly true that it hurts my brain. How in the world are you supposed to navigate in the world as a person of color, as a person of culture, as a black or brown person, in a world that basically tells you that you have no merit unless I can say, hey, I did a thing? I don't want you, this isn't about you feeling good. Is that what it is? You need to feel good about me not dying? That you stopped me from dying, therefore you get kudos? So you get the credit for creating a system that harms me and then doing some things to make sure that it might not necessarily harm me. You want kudos for that. Is that the only way you can be invested in my life? Outside of posting a few things on your Facebook and your Twitter and your Instagram? Like, please enlighten me, because I would love to know. Like, I just don't know how to appeal to y'all anymore. I'm working on it for myself, because at this point, it's not about me. It's not going to change in my lifetime. It's just not. This isn't about me at this point. This is about the young people coming after me. This is about my nieces and nephews. This is about the communities with the young people who are graduating from high school, who are going out into this world that's so cutthroat and dangerous for black bodies that they need someone to try. So it's not like I'm even doing it for me anymore. I'm doing it for others. Like, I don't think it was ever really about me anyway. But now for sure, it's like, well, it's never going to change in my lifetime. Because as long as you can post on your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter that show you're a good person as a white person, you're a good white, then what's the point? I'm talking into a wind tunnel to most of you. I talk about this stuff all the time with y'all. Half of y'all avoid me on social media. You don't respond at all. I know you see the posts. You don't respond at all because it made you uncomfortable. Because God forbid your white body feels uncomfortable about the harming of my black body. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I don't think half y'all avoid me. The other ones, there's a couple of handfuls of y'all that actually do interact. But a lot of your interactions are often like, I don't know what we do. I'm not sure. I'm so distraught about this. You're distraught about this. How in the world do you think I feel? This is my life. I live with a thing in the back of my head telling me that danger is imminent at every turn. Do you live with that? Do you feel that? Have you ever thought, now think, if you felt that even once in your life, think about feeling that every day of your life for your whole life. I have felt this way since I was like 12 years old. I am damn near 38 years old. There are people who are older than me who have had this pain in their bodies for 30, 40, 50 years. And yeah, there's therapy, there's processing, there's mindfulness, there's so many things that we can do. But there's so much trauma over my head all the time and over the head of black bodies that you think your little discomfort of having to hear me talk about this is worthy enough of you walking away from my body. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, will you give a shit this time next week? Will you still be talking about this? Probably not. I already started seeing most of y'all drop off and not touch on it. It did its 72-hour news cycle for you and you've already moved on. And that is the problem with the concept of whiteness. This is why I hate what you've created so much. Because you've created a thing that allows you to insulate yourself from the fact that you all, in some respect, perpetuate the harm on black and brown bodies. Don't think for a second that y'all all ain't a part of this. Then we're not doing that not all white people thing, like I already said. You all are a part of this. And until y'all care enough, until a large enough portion of you care enough, because y'all, all of y'all won't care. I'm just going to be completely frank with you. This isn't even for all of you. I'll take 1 in 5 at this point. Hell, I'll take 1 in 10 at this point who actually really truly care and are willing to stand up and push and be a voice and realize that we don't need you, but it would be nice if you wanted to give a damn. I will take 1 in 10 right now. And I can't even get the 1 in 10. And I know that most of you will move on from this, or most of you will feel like this was an angry post and you won't know what to say and all of that. And that's your choice. But I want you to accept what whiteness is and understand what whiteness is. You need to sit with that discomfort of how you contribute to whiteness every day as a white person. All of you do. So you really need to sit with it. And you need to, for Christ's sake, quit contacting us when this pain happens with your sob stories and your pain. You have no idea how fucking invalidating you telling me about how uncomfortable you are when my people are dying is. Because that means you just contacted me to make yourself feel better. And I'm not in the game of helping people feel better at this point, especially not white bodies, feel better about the harm that whiteness causes to persons or culture. Enlighten me. How do I reach you at this point? How do even fellow white people reach y'all at this point? Like how? Please enlighten me, because I would love to know. But until then, don't contact me with this nonsense anymore. Either do something about it or accept that you're never going to do something about it. Because that's the only two options here. You either reconcile with yourself that you don't give a damn, or you actually do give a damn and you quit making excuses and you try to be a voice for someone other than yourself and your own whiteness. Until then, don't come to me with this nonsense, because I don't have time for it. I'm too busy trying to survive and live to help you feel better about yourself.